Okay, welcome back to our video recordings. Today we are doing Chapter 10, Section 1, Exploring Quadratic Graphs. Okay, our essential question is, how do you graph quadratic functions? Okay, the standard form of a quadratic function is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. We've learned that throughout the year, mostly second semester. So, for example, we would have y equals 5x squared, or y equals x squared plus 7. Or you could have all three uh, monomials, and it'd be y equals x squared, let's go minus x minus 3. Notice how we have a monomial, binomial, and a trinomial. Okay, the graph of a quadratic function is a U-shaped curve, also known as a parabola. Okay, down below we have two different sets of parabolas. One on the left, it's opening up, and the one on the right is opening down. Okay, if a is greater than 0, so that means the coefficient of our x squared is greater than 0, then the parabola opens up or it is upward. It's positive. Now if a is less than 0, then the parabola opens down. Opens downward. Okay, looking here at our arrow, if you have a parabola that opens up when a is greater than 0, then you have a minimum value. In a parabola that opens downward, you would have a maximum value. Okay, in this bottom portion, this is just for your information, so you can get the graphs of quadratic functions a little bit easier. So if your a value is in between 0 and 1, so we are still positive, it's going to be really wide. If it's greater than 1, it's going to be very narrow. Okay, go ahead and turn over to the next page. Comparing widths of parabolas. Okay, order y equals x squared and y equals a half x squared and y equals negative 2x squared from widest to narrowest graph. So we're going to use that tidbit of information that was on the other page. So I'm going to pull it up right here. Okay, since we are doing from wide to narrow, we need to order them. The first one's in between 0 and 1, and then greater than 1 is the narrowest. So the ones are in between 0 and 1. Let's see right here. So y equals 1 half x squared is our widest. Moving on down, the coefficient of our first one is 1. For this one, we're just looking at the 2. We are not going to, take into account the negative. So the next widest will be y equals x squared. Then last, the narrowest is y equals negative 2x squared. Okay, so far we have learned that the A decides if the graph points upward or downward and how wide or narrow the graph is. We're now going to look at what the C does. C translates the graph up or down. Okay, we're going to look at some examples here. We're going to look at two different graphs. Our first one is y equals x squared. The second one is y equals s squared plus 3. Notice how the only difference is we added the 3. So this 3 should move our graph either up or down. Okay, go ahead and plug the different x values in for your graphs. When you're done, check your answer up on the computer screen with mine. Okay, if you need more time to figure those out, go ahead and just pause your video. Otherwise, we're going to move on. Okay, now we're going to graph these two functions. The first one is y equals x squared. Let's see, our first point then would be negative 2, 4. The second point then is negative 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 4. Connect all those dots. Okay, now we're going to graph the second one, y equals x squared plus 3. So we have negative 2, 7, negative 1, 4, 0, 3, 1, 4, and 2, 7. Okay, notice how our graph is just shifted up 3 times. So look here, our minimum value is moved up 1, 2, 3 spots, which was signified by our plus 3 on the end. Okay, so positive values of C shift the vertex up. Negative values of C shift vertex down. And this is true for any parabola, whether the A value is positive or negative. Okay, your homework that we will start in class on Wednesday is page 553, 10 through 30 even, and number 46. You are more than welcome to get started on this tonight. Otherwise, we will do it in class tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.